Hare Krishna. So, welcome all the devotees who have joined for the Gita Daily program. So, thank you very much for joining. So, every day we will get started at sharp at 7 a.m. and try to complete by 7:50 or 7:20 max. So in the interest of time, let's get started. Okay, let me share my screen for the shloka to be displayed. Is the screen visible, Hare Krishna? And somebody gives a thumbs up no, if the screen is
Yes,
visible.
it's visible.
Hare Krishna. Okay, let's get started actually. So again, once again, welcome to all the devotees who have joined for the this program for Gita Daily. So today we are going to start this journey of learning Bhagavad Gita one sloka at a time. So we will start with Sloka 1.1. So let us go ahead. So we'll pray to the deities Jagannath, Baldev, Subhadra, and Sudarshan, Gaurantai for their blessings so that we can understand Bhagavad Gita. So we'll start with the prayers. So you all are muted actually, but you can sing along with me. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Nama Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhudale Srimade Bhakti Vedanta Swami Nidinamine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधरा श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंदा हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे रामा रामा हरे हरे. So with the blessings of our divine grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada, who is our founder Acharya, because of due to which whom we are able to learn Bhagavad Gita today. So let us all take his blessings before we proceed. Now we will recite the shloka, Bhagavad Gita shloka, chapter 1, verse 1. So this is the first shloka of Bhagavad Gita. So I will read, all of you can repeat after me. No, though you are muted, you can repeat along with me. Dhritarashtra Uvacha Dharmakshetre Kurukshetre Samavedayujutsavaha Mamaga Pandavaschaiva Kim Akurvata Sanjaya. Repeat one more time. Dhritarashtrovacha Dharmakshetre Kurukshetre Samavedayujutsava Mamaga Pandavaschaiva Kim Agurvata Sanjaya. Now let's see the word to word meaning. Dhritarashtra Uvacha. King Dhritarashtra said, Dharmakshetre, in the place of pilgrimage, Kurukshetre, in the place named Kurukshetra, Samavedaha, assemble, Yutsavaha, desiring to fight, Mamagaha, my party, sons, Pandavaha, the sons of Pandu, Cha, and Eva, certainly, Kim, what, Akurvada, did they do, Sanjaya, oh Sanjaya. So basically, the translation is that Dhritarashtra is saying, is asking Sanjaya, in this holy place of Kurukshetra, what actually my sons and the Pandavas, what are they doing? So this is the translation of the verse. Now we will see what are the key points here. I'll just stop the sharing so that actually you can focus on hearing. Yeah. So so what are the key points in this particular verse? First point is that Kurukshetra is the Dharma Kshetra, right? So this is very crucial point. As per the Vedic scriptures, it is mentioned that Kurukshetra is known as a holy place of pilgrimage from the time immemorial. So that the context where actually this Bhagavad Gita is spoken and the war is happening is very important. We will see further. Then the next important word in this verse is the Dhritarashtra is using the word Mamaga and also Pandava. So the Mamaga actually he is distinguishing his sons from the sons of Pandu, his brother. Right. So there is a distinction which is actually expressed in this verse. Going further, actually Dhritarashtra is indirectly indicating his doubt about his success of his sons, because the place is a place of pilgrimage which will support dharma, and he is not he's quite sure that no, he is not on the side of dharma. And another important point is that evil becomes weakened in the presence of dharma. Basically, a dharma, a place of righteousness or dharma, will always favor the person who is on the side of dharma. So these are some of the key points in this verse. Now we'll see what are the key concepts which are covered in this verse. So one important concept we can understand is attachment and bias. So as we just saw, so Dhritarashtra is actually very clearly biased towards his son. So Dhritarashtra being a king, right, he should be impartial to everyone, all of his citizens, irrespective of whether they are his relatives and things like that. But then we can see that Dhritarashtra, when he says use the word Mamagaha, which actually indicates that he is actually favoring his sons, compared to Pandavas. So many of you know the story of history of Mahabharata. There are a lot of things which has happened before this war, right? And multiple times the Kauravas actually has tried to kill the Pandavas, and Dhritarashtra was always a party. No, was always supporting Duryodhana's different evil plans. So this we can see that attachment bias, it can result into ultimate destruction. So this is one important point we can understand concept. Then the power of the holy place. A place of pilgrimage is surcharged, with the power of spirituality, and we can expect that all right things will happen in a place of pilgrimage. So this is also true in a place where there are devotees, or the devotees of Lord Vishnu, Vaishnavas. So wherever there are righteous people, the outcome will be generally in favor of the righteousness. So this is something which you can understand. And then this is the inauguration, the first sloka of Bhagavad Gita, right, which is setting the stage for the Bhagavad Gita to be spoken. So as we have seen earlier, Bhagavad Gita is having 18 chapters and 700 slokas, and it is actually considered as the essence of all the Vedic scriptures, right? All that can be understood by reading all the Vedic, vast knowledge of Vedic scriptures could be got from reading Bhagavad Gita. And Bhagavad Gita is part of Mahabharata. It is coming in the Bhishma Parva, right? It's part of Bhagavad Gita. So setting the stage, when we read Bhagavad Gita, we start from this particular shloka where Dhritarashtra is speaking. So that is also an important. So that's also the significance of this particular verse. Then another concept we can understand is the importance of leadership roles. For example, right? So a king like Dhritarashtra was supposed to be the leader of entire population of Bharatavarsha at that time, and a king, righteous king, is supposed to be completely impartial, right? And he should not have any weaknesses. Like he should not be having attachment, and his decision should be based on the principles of dharma. So these are some of the important concepts which are covered in this verse. Now we could also go a little bit or see one particular incident, or we can say it's a small story or anecdote from the Mahabharata. So what is one of the root causes for the this great war which has happened in Kurukshetra? Basically, it all started with a very small minor incidents, right? Actually, when Duryodhana was invited to visit the palace which was constructed by Pandavas, it was very magnanimous, great palace with a lot of wonderful features. And when Duryodhana was trying to enter the palace, he saw, he saw a big hall, right? And then when he steps in, actually he falls into a pond, right? Basically, it was designed in such a way that there was a clear water reservoir, which actually was looking like a marble floor. And when he stepped, he actually fell down, right? And actually, Draupadi was watching. The other ladies were watching from the balcony inside the hall, and she could not control her laughter, and no, and she laughs, and then this caused a lot of a great insult. Like basically, Duryodhana took this as a great insult, And this actually saw the seed of his very strong envy towards Pandavas, and he took it as a kind of, we want to take revenge for this. And then he waited for various opportunities, no, where actually he can do, and then we know how the various things happen. So but then how, from a spiritual perspective, so when a material perspective, we may say that, okay, the Draupadi was wrong to laugh or to insult Duryodhana and things like that. However, we have to understand that a very small incidents, right? Sometimes it may be worthy uh, to get look. I mean, get go things, right? Should not We should not think every small incidents in a very, what I call, take it to the heart and keep on pondering on it. Sometimes, no, it is always better to be more tolerant, and forgiving, right? So that actually, we can see that the small incidents triggered a series of chains of incidents, which actually resulted in the war. But this is just one of nimitta, we can say, so this is not the real cause, because we can see from right from the birth, the Kauravas and Pandavas were always inimical, right? There were various ways the Kauravas tries to kill the Pandava. No, we know the incidents where Bhima was poisoned, then they set fire to their palace earlier. So many ways Kauravas tried to kill the Pandavas. So, but at this point of time, we may not get into all the details. But essentially, one lesson we can learn from this is that we should not nurture a feeling of no, basically envy, or no, taking revenge on somebody. Like if you get low go things, we can be more peaceful, right? So this is one important lesson. Let's move on. So let's try to connect these things to, as we discussed, we try to connect the sloka to three aspects of our life, right? In personal life, in professional life, and family life. How can we apply practically Bhagavad Gita? So many times we gain spiritual knowledge, we read scriptures, etc., but then we don't know how we can connect to our daily life. Unless until we apply the lessons, the knowledge, theoretical knowledge, is not going to help us much. So we try to connect how the knowledge of Bhagavad Gita could apply, in our life. So from a personal life perspective, one lesson that we can learn is that attachment can blind our intelligence. So we can see that Dhritarashtra was too much attached to his sons, right? Though he was physically blind, he was also morally and, conscious, like conscious wise, also he was blind. And because of this blind attachment to his sons, especially Duryodhana, we can see that a great war actually ensued, and then there was a huge destruction which was followed. So this is one important lesson that we can learn, is that we should always watch out for our attachment. Many times these are our blind spots. We may not even be aware that no, we are attached to certain things. Like we may be, no, this is one thing. And second thing, coming to a professional life, whenever we are in position of responsibility, like when we are leaders, um, ultimately the final success will depend on our attitude. So we should try to be, neutral and fair. Just like we discussed, Dhritarashtra being a king or an emperor, he should be equal to all his citizens, right? Similarly, when we are in a managerial role, etc., we should try to be, neutral and fair, and avoid favoritism, right? And try to take decision based on principles. So some of you may think that, okay, how this is practical in today's world, right? Today's world, there is heavy competition, and everywhere we see politics. Ultimately, it depends on what is our final aim, right? If you want to be successful materially, then we may need to follow the rules of the games which are there today. But actually, when we are looking at scriptural topics, right, or when we try to learn Bhagavad Gita, we are looking much beyond our temporary existence of the bodily platform, right? Actually, we discussed briefly in the first session that we are not this body that we see, and this identities that we are having, that I am the CEO of this company, or I am the senior manager in this position. See, these are all temporary identities, right? But actually, we have something much beyond that. We are actually spirit souls. And if you look at our long and ultimate journey, that we have to return back to our original constitutional position into the spiritual world, actually the decisions and our points of thought will vary. So from a longer perspective, our ultimate benefit, we have to think or make our decisions, based on the religious principles and dharmic principles. Okay, so we need to convert, I mean, we have to be also practical. So we have to start applying things, step by step. So we can make small steps which are practical today, and then but ultimately keeping in mind that what is our ultimate goal and how, what is the final our final destination, and how our ultimate decision should be made. Okay, coming to family life, when we are in responsible positions, like when we are parents, etc., we should always watch out for our attachment, right? Of course, attachment is required to some extent, because attachment also is a byproduct of the love we have, no? For example, when we are parents, we love our children, and also we become attached to them, right? But in this process, we should not become blind, like, to forget actually what is ultimately beneficial for the children, right? So we should not be overly attached to them, but at the same time try to fulfill our responsibilities, right? Because you can see that Dhritarashtra being overly attached to Duryodhana, right, had resulted in the downfall of the entire Kaurava dynasty, including, all his children. So he lost all his 100 children, and so many people were killed in the war. So we should be watching out for our attachment, which are, undue or overly attachment. And then similarly, we should try to create a spiritual atmosphere at home, right? So this actually can imbibe moral values to children, etc. Okay, so we'll try to summarize today's session. What are the key takeaways? So one is that, okay, we have to watch for our bias, as we discussed before making decisions. No, we should try to look from the through the angle of dharma, or moral values, and try to. Then second point is that try to create a dharmic environment. Also, we can understand the importance of associating with people who are in the mode of goodness, right? So we should have satsanga, so which we are having, in this meeting today. So we all people who are like-minded, who are interested to make a spiritual journey, who want to go beyond the temporary platform, right? So all of us, such people, can come together, right, and have association. So such association can be the root cause for developing, the right principles and right values. We can develop good habits, right? So, and then finally, the principle, not attachment, guide our choices, as we discussed. So these are some of the key takeaways. And this is just a beginning, today's first session, but I think we can see a lot of things in the coming days. We learn a lot of things by the mercy of our acharyas, right? So whatever we talk in the session, it's not something is of personal opinion or anything, but it is based on the Bhagavad Gita as it is, which is coming through a disciplic succession, right? Starting from Lord Krishna in a parampara. And our many acharyas have commented on Bhagavad Gita in our line of disciplic succession, and we try to take the essence from all these learnings, which is communicated in this session. So we just act as a media, and the knowledge and all the credit goes to our acharyas. So with that, I think we come to the end of the session today. Okay, so if anybody wants to leave at this point, they can leave, or if somebody has any questions, no, they can actually ask. So we will try to unmute. You can raise your hand, and we can unmute if anybody has any questions. You also can ask questions later after the session. You can contact on WhatsApp, or you can try to reach us on phone. All these different channels are available. So anybody has any questions, they can either type in the chat, they raise the hands and ask, or any of this medium can be used. Hare Krishna. Thank you. We'll wait for some time for the questions. Okay, looks like no questions are there. I think participants are able to chat, right? You are able to chat. I think by default you are muted. I think we have to unmute you if you want to talk, but I think you can always chat, or you can just raise your hands, if you want to talk. Okay, look, that no questions are there. So thank you again, all of you, for joining the session, and a humble request, please join daily. I think there is one chat message. Hare Krishna. Okay. Okay, so thank you. See you tomorrow. Hare Krishna.